afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, good week. Y'all, I'm so happy to be here. It's a little update on me. This week was one of those weeks that you thought it was going to be something. Life throws you a curveball. All I'm going to say is I have not really, my sleep schedule is thrown all the way off, but that's what being an adult is, I think. So shout out to everyone for being here. You really have grounded me. Thank you so much. And for everybody who's not so much grounded right now, just want to say it gets better. And I know that's cliche, but it really does. And I really appreciate you being here today with me and the special guest in the title. But before we bring him on, I just want to do special shout outs to, Holtz, Deadpool Gaming. I see that you're here early with 27. Thank you so much. Ambi, Crow Resin. Thank you. My partner in crime, Lo-Fi Monk. Sanchez Gaming, thank you all so much for being here. I see you all. I think I got everybody in chat. Thank you again. It really means a lot to me. But y'all know, the show's not about me. Maybe if the guests ask me some questions, but I don't really answer them too much. And Chat Stadia, we've got half a Chat Stadia here. But with that said, let me bring out our guest today. He's a super pillar of the cloud community. And I'm just super privileged to have him. But without further ado, the one, the only, Ace!
Hey, what's up?
Ace, we made it happen! We made it happen! In a matter of months, y'all.
Oh,
I just got to tell them how we met each other. So Ace and I met each other initially on And Your Mama Knows Cowboy Show. Yeah. And I have the utmost respect for Ace. And I think it was Holtz was like, well, you got to talk to Purple Haze. And Ace, in his ultimate gentlemanly self, was like, Purple? Who's Purple Haze? So I am just glad that he's now in Shades of Purple. We've come a long ways.
Long ways for sure. Long ways.
But no, you've always been a great, ever since day one, you asked me to be on your old show, your former show, your show, you did everything. And you've always given me so many tips and hints on how to just take my streaming to the next level. So appreciate you always for that guidance. But what's up, Wilson? I see you there. But with that said, it's about you. So before we really get started, why Ace as your game? Why that?
What's up, chat? That's my initials, actually. And don't ask me how to spell my middle name because it's long as heck, and there's actually two names in there. But it's my middle. So my first name's Amelo, you guys know. My middle name is Shimfanaya Shinoyemo, and then my last name is Ezonka. So that's where the Ace comes from.
Wow, you said spell it. I can't even repeat it. So I think I love it. So we'll keep it as Ace. What's up? What's up?
Simple. Yeah.
Right. All right. So we're gonna get into everything. We're gonna get into what you've been doing new, what your channel. I have some interesting questions about the channel specifically. We'll get to it. Okay. But it's a gaming podcast, really about people and everything. But before we really dive into anything, what are you playing right now, like game-wise?
Ooh, that's a great question. So, as you guys know, I took a break from content creation, and my goodness, I've gamed the most I've gamed in a very long time. So I've beaten how many 6 games since the time I gave content creation up. But right now I'm currently playing Ghost of Tsushima with the PlayStation Plus cloud streaming stuff, and I'm playing it on my Steam Deck. So loving the game right now. Such an incredible, I love samurais, and this is just the game for me. It's pretty dope. Have you played it?
I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, but I've watched Windstar play it. It's like every single time he streams it, I try to jump in and watch it. Yeah. But I hear a lot of great things from it. I can imagine your other half in your marriage is like you beat 6 games, but what else could you do if you weren't gay? I can imagine the conversation going on.
Right. But you see,
Uh,
that's what makes the Steam Deck so great because like I game at work, like when I'm at work and I have free time, like my lunch break or when the client cancels, right? I'm gaming. So I'm not like always gaming at home. Like I find like if the kids are going to bed, right, and she's out with the girls, right, I'm waiting for them to fall asleep, pull out the Steam Deck and game a little bit there. So those little that's why I love that if you want to call it system, but it just gives you an opportunity to catch up on gaming when you have those little time. So I'm loving it. I'm gaming and it's a beautiful thing. So
Gaming and working. I can only imagine. I don't want to ask you, but like, which would you rather have, the client or the cancellation?
oh
I don't. I don't want to ask you. I don't want to. Don't want to
uh,
know. Don't want to get you in trouble. Don't want to get you. We're not gonna do
that's a great
it.
question.
Yeah. All right. But
Yeah.
the amazing content creator you are today, the amazing gamer you are today, the amazing gaming content creator. See what I did there? You are.
Love it.
Where did it start for you?
Content creation or
No,
gaming?
gaming. Because
Oof.
or which one was first?
Gaming, I would say.
Okay, so let's start with the beginning. Let's go.
Yes. So I have two brothers and I have two guy cousins, right? And so I was like the middle at that time, like the youngest out of all the guys, right? So gaming was a huge part of our upbringing. So we started off in the like Nintendo era and moved up to Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and I'm not trying to quote Biggie here, but or whoever who sings that song. But anyway, the thing about me though is because again I was like the youngest boy out of everyone. Like I would sit there and watch and observe. So they'll take turns in game, and I'll be like so envious about gaming, but like I'll be the last one to game. So instead of gaming, I actually enjoy the research aspect of gaming. So I actually would say I research gaming more than I played gaming, right? So back in the days, they used to have magazines, right? You had the EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, the PSM, and my brother will like subscribe to those magazines. And so because I didn't get an opportunity to play, I'll be like, studying, reading those magazines and just learning more about the games that they're playing or the platform that they're using to play these games. So I actually got obsessed with like researching gaming instead of so I like I research more than I play games. So I know like a lot. I have a lot of like knowledge when it comes to like games and history, with games like game devs, whom create the game, what companies that so I would say that's how I got into gaming. But then when I was like 13, I got my first job and I was able to purchase my own console. And my first official console that I was able to purchase for myself was like a PS2. And then, I got a PS3, PS4, Nintendo. So that's where I started like gaming and got my interest from gaming. So yeah.
So why PlayStation?
Woo! It's so people who know me know like I love those bangers, right? And I feel like Sony was one of the first companies that came with it, like the PlayStation era, Final Fantasy 7, Metal Gear Solid. Those games like put
Metal Gear Solid. I
Metal
haven't
Gear
heard that
Solid,
on
right?
this
Yeah,
channel. That's a
yeah.
big title too.
So,
I mean,
those games were so cinematic, right? Sony, I feel like they were the first people to like the CGIs bring actual gameplay with cinema, and that's kind of my awakening to gaming. Again, I got my first PlayStation, was introduced to that, but yeah, I they make gaming more cinematic, and that's what I fell in love with, and that's what I call like the bangers, right? So yeah,
I was
that's
about to ask you that because you mentioned bangers. You mentioned like
the
gotta get
bangers.
those big, and
Oh
so
yeah, oh
and
yeah.
so it is that you like that huge production, that cinema.
Blockbuster, huge, yeah, yeah. The CGIs, the long, you know, people hate it, but the long cut scenes, If you play Metal Gear, you know what I'm talking about. The big epic story, Final Fantasy, the big cutscenes, high detail graphics, and all that stuff. That's the type of games I'm into. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Ray, Chariot Man. I saw you, Rudix, David Wilson, Ambi, Mr. Urban Roll. Thank you all. The Legend 350. Thank you again for coming by. We're here talking to Ace, talking about gaming, talking about bangers, talking about cinematic stuff. And now comes the next one. Your favorite banger in your own words for PS2, PS3, PS4, since those are the ones you brought up. Wow. So let's start it off. What is it? What's that one that you're like, that's the one for PS2 to find it for me?
Dang, that's crazy. So let's start with PS1. I would have to say is, the Final Fantasy VII and the Metal Gear Solid, and the Tekken, was a big part of PlayStation 1. People tend to forget.
You're gonna talk to me about cinematic experiences and throwing Tekken?
Oh, so Tekken was one of those games that actually had cutscenes, right? Like the
right,
story.
Did.
Yeah, if you play the endings, people will play the endings just to get that cool, CGI ending. So they were one of the first. Now most games like Mortal Kombat right now have like a huge story mode, but Tekken was actually one of the first games to do that. Some people might not even know this game, but Battle Arena Toshinden, right? Going back to the PlayStation era. And then you have PlayStation 2, which I would say introduced like games like Jak and Daxter. That was one of my biggest PS2 game. SOCOM US Navy SEALs, right? Some people might not even remember the network adapter that plugged in to the PlayStation 2. Sony used that to kind of compete with Microsoft Xbox Live back in the days, right? I'm going old school here, but yeah, again, the PS2 was where we kind of saw Metal Gear as well, really shine and blossom when it comes to like CGI, right? And then PS3, my goodness, we had the Uncharted's, right? That was huge at that time. But I don't want you guys to think like I love Sony, but I also played like Xbox as well, play some Halo.
No. You are a Sony pony through and through. Yeah. Don't try to I'm everything. No, we're not doing that. So not all consoles are not created equal. This is not this channel.
But check this. My saying is I respect the tech, right? So my thing is whatever tech is convenient to me that can bring those bangers to me, where it's accessible and I can play. That's a platform I respect, right? So right now it's the Steam Deck. Again, being able to play these AAA games anywhere, anytime.
Whoa, you just cut. We're gonna get to the little. We're gonna get there. All right, we get that. Everybody wants to talk about the Steam Deck. I get it.
Steam Deck, great.
I just talked to someone today who was like through and through gamer, and then all of a sudden they got a Steam Deck and wanted to show me on a conference call. Shout out to you, Whit. I love it. Don't worry. But yeah, we're gonna ask about Steam Deck here in a second. But so all right, so were you like a multi? So you were not like one console type of gamer. Like you played everything.
Yeah, I played everything, and like again. To me, I research more than I play, and I think that was the big thing for me too. Like when I wasn't playing, I was reading. Who holds? I see that. Yeah, it's Jak and Daxter and SOCOM, so he connected with that. But yeah, when I wasn't gaming, I was reading the EGMs, the PSMs, and all those magazines as well. Nintendo Power. Some of you guys might not know what that is, but yeah, back in the days, man, those magazines were live.
What do you know about Nintendo Power, Ace? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I told you I was all into reading those magazines, man. IGN back in the days, man. That's the GameStop, game trailers, right? I would go on those websites, and yeah, so I did more research than I played games, but yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, this is starting to show the foundation of kind of your content creation, right?
Right.
But you're still like, so would you say today you're the same way? I mean, you just said you beat 6 games. I mean, you're still through and through gamer.
Oh, for
But
sure.
it just seems like instead of reading like textbooks at school, you were reading gaming magazines. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
other kids were reading dirty magazines and you were like looking at like
Like, yeah,
look at this guys.
right,
Uh,
right.
I
So,
love it.
so my biggest dream ever was to like work for IGN. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when I grow up, I would love. Actually, my biggest dream, when you're young, like you don't have a big, scope of. So my biggest dream when I was younger was to work at GameStop, right? But I actually worked at GameStop, and it was probably one of the worst,
Oh,
like
we got to okay. Ask
experiences.
us because we have people. Half the chat wants to work at GameStop, and I continue
Oh
to be
my
like,
goodness.
maybe
Oh,
not. But
it's so bad.
tell us why you wanted to work at GameStop, and then tell us what it was like working at GameStop, and then I want to know what it was like buying shares in GameStop as it just exploded last year. Tell us the
Yeah,
entire trajectory
yeah,
here, your
right.
GameStop journey.
So I believe I was 16 when I first got my job at GameStop. And one of the reasons I went to work there was because there were certain employees that got discount to tickets or even sometimes got to go to E3. Now, if you guys don't know what E3 is, like people make fun of it today, but back then, man, E3
It
was
was the
like the
thing.
Super Bowl of like gaming. So I had friends who used to work there who would get like discounted tickets to get to E3. And my thing's like, yo, if I work there, right? So the thing is like, I do this at Best Buy now, and my wife makes fun of me, but they know me by name at Best Buy. Like I go to Best Buy there, everyone knows me, and you know, I did that with GameStop. So I would go there, right? Not even employed there, but would help people because I went there quite often, so I knew where everything was. So people were like, "Where is this? Where is that?" And I would like help them. So, but
I
that's
feel
just
like
like
I may have ran into you at a
yeah,
GameStop. like we all went
yeah,
there and we
yeah,
know who you were. Like if it wasn't you directly, I know
right.
someone who's in the spirit of you. Who
Right,
I
right.
just go to that person and be like, "Yo,
Yeah,
where's it? Oh, they're not getting it till like next Tuesday." It's like,
yeah.
how do you know more than the workers?
It's
But
crazy. It's crazy, right? So again, so I got the job there, and I was like, "Oof, this is not what I was expecting." First of all, talk about like work labor. You and two employees are there like the whole time. And sometimes the employees have responsibilities in the back room. So you there up front all by yourself, right? And you have like lines of customers and you have to like answer the phones as well. So you like
come on,
multi
this is
it's
GameStop. There's no lines of
it's
customers.
oh
There's
my
just
goodness.
people wandering around looking at
Yeah.
games.
No, no, back in the day,
I know,
it's
joking.
true.
I was
Yeah,
like, I wish
it's true.
GameStop wishes they had lines of
Yeah.
customers.
No, back in the days they used to. When I worked there, they used to, and it was a frustrating experience because it's like one person trying to do multiple things, and employees get burnt out, man. I think I was one of the longest lasting employee, and I worked there for like a year and a half. So I was like, oof, was not what I was expecting. So I was like, all right, done with GameStop. And then my biggest goal after GameStop was like, I want to work for IGN. So that's where that all came from.
Welcome, Jonathan Priester. I've not seen you around here, but that you took the cake, started the GameStop branch. That was funny. But
Yeah.
keep going, Ace.
Yeah.
Um, No, so you burned out. So you found out what that was like, and was it just because it burned you out because they were overworking you, underpaying
Oh
you?
yeah,
That was
overworking,
that it.
underpaying. They really don't care about the employees there, man. And it echoes to how long ago was that? And you would think things will change, but you hear employees today still complaining about the same thing. They really don't care about the employees, and it shows, right? So I was just like, nah, I'm good. So I was like, I left and I went and worked at a grocery store. So, so from GameStop to a grocery store, yeah.
I mean, I guess that's career progression at its finest. I'm not sure if you learned your lesson at GameStop though. By jumping to the grocery store, it seems like you went from literally the frying pan to the fire.
Yeah.
But But that's
So here's the thing with me, like I'm a hustler. Like I started
he
working
said it
at
first, y'all. He's a hustler. Yeah, that's his words, not mine. His words, not mine.
like so the story I told about like my older siblings and cousins being able to get things before me and not let me play because I was the youngest, that got to me. And so I was like, as soon as I can make money, like I'm for it, so I started hustling like in school. Like I would buy candy from the deli, take it to school and sell it, you know what I'm saying? And then like I would whatever I made like rap CDs back in days, and I would take it to school and
You
say,
burned
yeah,
some
I'm
sticky.
telling
This
you,
is you.
I'm
I know
telling
who
you.
you were, Ace. I know who you
Yeah,
were
I'm
in
saying?
school.
So,
Like
oh my goodness, I was that hustler. So when I was 13, I got like my first job. Yeah, I worked at so I've done it all. I've worked at McDonald's, I've worked at Burger King's, I've worked at Wendy's. Um,
oh,
so yeah,
whoa, whoa, whoa. We're gonna
yeah,
jump. Look, let's
it
put
gets
a pin
it
in what
gets
we were talking about. Okay,
it
let's
gets
put a
that.
pin in what we were talking about. You didn't say
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Wendy's,
Wendy's,
Burger King,
McDonald's, and
and
Burger King. Yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
should give you like some type of like
I'm
burger
telling you.
achievement
I'm
award or
telling you.
something. Like I think this
Man.
is the trifecta. Okay, so did you get
Yeah.
free food? Like I have all
Oh
sorts
yeah.
of questions
Oh
about.
yeah.
Like if y'all have a
Oh
question
yeah.
for Ace about burgers, we're gonna ask it right now. Put it in.
Oh gosh.
Question Ace. This okay. What's your favorite hamburger out of those three?
Ooh, man, the spicy chicken at Wendy's, man. Still to
Okay,
this,
okay,
like
okay.
it's hard for me to eat fast food now, but that spicy chicken at Wendy's, they make it a little different now, but still to this day, that's like my go-to
Oh,
fast food
you're one
joint.
of
Yeah.
those. You're one of those. You're
Yeah.
like back in my day, we used cayenne pepper or something like that. Okay, I
Oh
see you. I
man.
see you. Favorite French fry?
Oof. So okay. Some people might think this is weird, but I like Burger King French fry the best because it has like this crunchy, crisp. Yeah, I see your face, right? But people probably say McDonald's, but Burger King has this like crisp crunchiness to the fries, and Wendy's don't do it like that. Neither does McDonald's. So that's something I appreciate about Burger King's fry. Yeah.
All right, we have a question from the audience. Why is the frosty
Yeah.
machine always broken?
Great. Yeah. Great. I don't know. That's a great question. In the summertime, like people go crazy for the frosty machine. And yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe they need to upgrade it, but yeah, that's funny.
Oh
It's
my
good.
god, this is actually
It's good.
I'm super. I'm like, I could talk about this conversation right now
It's
forever.
crazy. Yeah.
But so I think it's funny that those were your first jobs, and then you were like, you know what? I want to transition industries. What is
Yeah,
it?
I
What is
see
it?
Primo. Primo
Primo,
agreed with the fries. Primo, sir. Primo
Primo lives
agreed
in
with the
Hawaii. They
fries.
don't even know what fries are. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
Primo doesn't even know. Like
Oh
what I
man.
think is unique about your story that is so true about most of what I've seen from most of the people who come on to Shades of Purple who are gamers.
Yeah.
Holtz will remember. Actually, all of y'all who've been on, you all were some type of like delinquent child or hustler growing up, like
Yeah.
trading things, like
Yep.
maneuvering things. You
Yep.
had Windstar, who was like one of the first people to do like data mining in World of Warcraft to become a millionaire. I think it's
Yeah.
unique how gaming has created the hustlers we see today.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
fair?
So true. So
I'm
true.
joking. I'm joking, Ace. I know.
No,
All
it's
right.
true. It does, man. You got to get those games somehow, right? So it's like, how do you get it,
Oh
right?
my god. This is why
So
game companies go out of business because y'all hustle to get everything for free. This is like something tells me this is why you started a channel. You're like, I want a channel so I get game codes.
no,
No.
you want to know why I said?
We're
We'll
gonna get
probably
to
get
that.
there. Okay, we'll
We're
get to
gonna
that.
get there.
All
We're
right.
gonna get
All
there.
right.
I can't let it all. I know
Yeah.
everybody's here for that. I gotta pull you
Oh gosh,
back.
pull it, pull it.
Like
All right.
hold your hands. So, yeah, we got you. So we
Okay.
saw you went to the burgers. You then did a cross industry transfer to games. Now you went
Yeah.
to I don't know, grocery stores. I
Yeah.
mean, you like to work hard. That's what I
That's
know.
that's
Like
That's
You
what
are
it is.
the
Yeah.
definition of work harder, not smarter. And
Yeah.
so, I'm joking, Nate.
True. True. No, but now it's work smarter, which was
You learned, you
2017.
learned it. You learned. You're like,
I
I
learned.
got
Yeah.
ahead. I
That
got
way.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Somewhere down the line, yeah, it clicked for me. But yeah.
no problem. So one of the things I know about you, you haven't mentioned this game, right? But I
Mm.
know you are probably one of the best players at this game, and I just kind of want to know where it came from. NBA 2K. You talk a lot
Oh
about this,
man.
and
Oh
you didn't
yeah.
even mention it. So I'm
Oh
kind of
yeah.
curious, like where did this come from? Like
Okay.
where did you love for
So
the game?
that's a great question. So like I said, I respect the tech, right? And to me, it's all about like what tech or gaming platform is convenient to me at the time. So I got a Switch, right? Switch was hot, still is kind of hot. And
It's
I
still kind of hot. It was the number one selling console last year.
true,
I know, but
sure,
I get
sure.
your
So
standards so high.
yeah,
This defines your opinion on Stadia. Okay, guys, we got it. No, Chuck. All right, all
that's
right.
good.
Let's go.
But
Let's go.
yeah, so I got the Switch. I loved it, and at the time, I went to I was watching all these Switch content creators. The what's the name? Play Essence, the RGT85, and so I was like, I'm liking what these people are doing. Let me look into like content creation, right? So I started a YouTube channel, and back back then it was crazy. I covered everything. So my passion
What was the
was
channel name? What was the channel name?
so when it originally started, it was called what it was Ace CGTF, I believe, right? So it
Come on,
was
hey, stop. You know what this was called. Stop acting like you're like I
no,
can't
no,
remember. It's like you
it
don't know
was
your
so long
firstborn
ago.
child's name. You know
No,
what this channel is called. Stop playing
no,
around.
it was a long time ago, like honestly speaking. So it was called ACE CGTF. And that stood for like stuff that I was passionate about at that time, right? So it was my faith, right? Christ, right? CG gaming, right? CGT technology, and family, because at that time I was going to school to be like a mental health therapist. So I created a channel to cover stuff that I was passionate and interested about. But then something I realized was no one really gave a crap about about like my interest,
No, no, don't say that.
no,
Don't. We're gonna get a
it's true.
thunderbolt coming down saying, "I'll see if someone cares."
Yeah,
Like we
no,
got you. You're good. You're
yeah,
good. We
so
care
that
about it. They just don't watch it. That's how much reverence they have for it.
Oh
Okay, let's say
man,
it like
oh
that.
man. No, so what the way YouTube algorithm works, right, is they want you to pick something, a specific thing, and stick to it. And so I would get like audience, who were interested, like what I was talking about when it comes to my faith. And then gamers, they're like, why are you talking about your faith? And then people who are into tech, why are you talking about, gaming? So I was like, all right, what's clicking with YouTube? It's just gaming and tech. So I'm gonna cut the stuff out and just focus on those things. And so that's the channel is now called Sunny Indie Gaming. I kind of gave the channel to him and left
You have a
content
habit of
creation.
doing that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, no spoiler alert. No spoiler alert. Okay.
But yeah, so I covered gaming there, and it started like blowing up a little bit. So I started streaming on there. I started streaming Switch. And one of the games that really took off was NBA 2K. It's like my first time ever playing 2K. I think it was 18 or 19. I was like, yo, people are interested in 2K for the Switch. And it started like getting big. And that's how I met Sonny actually, because he played 2K on the Switch. And
Really?
yeah, that's how that relationship formed. But anyway, so I started streaming, and I talked to him, and he was interested in streaming too. And so I was like, yo, let's join it. Let's, come onto the channel. Let's create a. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Let's make magic.
Yeah. So the 2K stream started becoming popular, and my schedule just did not allow me to be as consistent with it because people were like, yo, can you stream like, can you stream 2 days? Like, people wanted more streams and I couldn't. So Sonny wanted to get into content creation and he was, a good 2K player. So I was like, yo, let's team up, right? That way you can stream when I can stream. So that's how that channel like all came together. And ever since then, I picked up 2K for the first time that year, and I just became hooked to it. But so we, joined together, created that channel, and I got kind of it took over, right? The channel started growing, fast, and just the demand was too big. So it took over and I was like, yo, I'm doing too much, right? I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I think I've said this one time. But it was Christmas with that channel, and I wanted to connect with my audience, and I was racing home to make a video. And I had my kids in the car, right? And I was like driving reckless just so I can upload a video. And I almost got in a wreck. And that's when I was like, all right, this is too much, right? I'm going too hard in this. I need to like scale back, right? So I was like, all right. I told Sonny, I was like, yo, look, I gotta cut back on this. Can you take over? And so he took over the channel. But that's where 2K came from. But ever since then, I just was in love with it. So I play it religiously every year now. Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not know that. Well, thank you for saying that too,
Yeah.
though, about not just gaming, but anything. I think sometimes we lose sight of what's most important, and sometimes it takes,
Something
unfortunately,
to wake you up.
yeah. So kudos to you for recognizing that, and also for not losing it all.
Yeah.
I think that's even bigger. Um, so you gave your channel to Sonny, right?
Mm.
Put it in great hands. I'm not sure if we could say the same for your other stuff you give away, but come back in a little bit to that. No, what? No, I didn't say nothing. If you can't tell, where this is gonna go eventually.
Wow.
But so you start. So that was Sunny, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about CGX.
Okay.
Started this channel so we can understand. So we know like kind of like the background. You told us about, hey, growing up, I liked more about the information, what was coming in the magazines, what was the news stories. A lot of your channel, to your credit, when I first started watching it, I gravitated towards it because it was one of those informational, like you had a lot of information, right? Where did this idea come from? So you obviously it was born out of the split from the original channel, where one wanted to take it. So is that how it happened?
The CGX channel?
Yeah.
All right. The story gets crazy. So I gave the channel to Sonny, right? Took a hiatus from content creation to focus on, just my life in general. And then again, I'm a techie. I research tech, right? And I'm a gamer, right? So the thing that clicked for me was Google's CDG game developer presentation when they built Stadia for the first time. And I was like, yo, this is magic, right? Because I love Google at the time. I own all the Nexus device, all the Pixel devices. I was a huge Google fanboy, right? So I love Google as a company. I was again into gaming, and based on the research, I knew that cloud gaming was like coming up. So I didn't see anyone covering it. I was like, who the heck is covering this? And there was hardly anyone. There's one person, but they were doing a podcast, and that was StadiaCast at the time, right? So I hit Sunny up. I was like, yo, no one is covering this cloud gaming thing. I think this is going to take off. Again, Google being behind this is big. So I sent him the link, and he was like, yo, that looks cool. So I was like, yo, I might be coming out of retirement to create content. Do you want to join me in this. It's like, I'm busy, doing this other channel. Why don't you start it, right? Start it, and I'll hop on every once in a while. So I started it, right? I made like I think I don't know if those videos are still up on the channel, but
Oh my
it
gosh.
was yeah, like with me, when I want to do something, I just do it. Like success breeds speed. That's my mindset, right? So I do it, and then I'll think about like making it better afterwards, right? So I started it, you can watch the first two videos, but I was basically like my garage, nothing behind. Like it was gross. You see like a garbage can there in my garage, right? So we recorded it, put the first two video up, and I think it did okay, and to where like suddenly started seeing like there was interest in channels. So like, all right, let's start pumping it up. Like, so we start making more content there. And so that happened, but it got to the point where he kind of wanted to focus on like Stadia content. And if you watch that channel, you see like before people were even talking about GeForce Now, before people were talking about Shadow PC, it was covered on that channel. Because again, I'm a techie, I'm a gamer, and I'm fascinated by the next best tech. So I wanted a channel focused on covering everything, right? So the way the YouTube algorithm works, you guys know this, right? When you start covering multiple stuff, it doesn't favor you, right? So Sunny Smart, he's a great YouTuber, and he saw like Stadia back then had a huge like people. Yo, the hype for Stadia back then was like the hype of Steam Deck right now. I'm not gonna lie, like everyone was talking about Stadia. Like that's why people started like batching Stadia, because Stadia was so popular that if you made any video, bashing or positive, it will rank really well on YouTube. So anyway, so
Oh,
Sunny
I
again.
feel like we got a trade secret here. And we have one of the biggest Stadia bashers in the chat, and Doc 1985. I see you, Doc. Uh,
Yeah, see you, Doc. What up, Doc? But yeah, so Sunny was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna target Stadia." I was like, "All right, look, let me focus on another channel where it's gonna be open to everything, right?" So that's where CGX was born. So I was like, I'm gonna cover, like my first video was a GFM video, and then I did Xbox. So I wanted YouTube to get the algorithm of like, this is not just a Stadia focused channel. We're gonna cover everything here. So that's where it was born. And then I met Marshif. I was like, yo, this dude is pretty much doing what I'm doing, right? So I love his comparisons, something he still, I think, excels at now. Like, I think he's one of the best comparison person on YouTube. He probably doesn't believe that, but I genuinely do. So I was like, yo, let me ask this guy if he wants to partner up in this channel. Like, if we can get him on here and then I'm doing my thing, I was like, CG, this channel is going to take off. So I asked him, I didn't think he was going to say yes. And so he was like, okay, crazy, but yeah, let's give it a shot. And he came on,
oh, good.
and I think we hit 2K in like, I can't remember, but we hit like 2K subs in 4 months, 4 or 5 months. The channel just like took off. But that's how CGX was born. I wanted to create a channel that pretty much covered all of the Cloudian plot. I get bored as hell covering just one thing, and you guys are gonna see with my new venture
Whoa, whoa,
where
whoa.
things are going.
Venture. New. Nueva.
We'll get to that in the
What?
end, but but no, so I just get bored as hell covering one thing, so that's CGX. Like, yeah, I want to cover all of the Cloudian platform, and so that's how it was born.
Getting a lot of love in the chat. Everybody's remembering your when you started, Ace, and in the legacy you had. And I heard you say new venture. I know you kind of hinted at this, and you also I caught a little bit of the boy of cows yesterday, his stream, and cowboy for y'all. Okay, cowboy. I saw his stream, so I saw you talking a little bit about it. And so we will talk about that. You had one of the largest cloud gaming channels recently, and you gave it up.
Yeah.
You gave it like talk us. Can you talk us through a little bit of why you did that?
So I've learned. Remember we talked about the smarter thing, right? But I've learned something over the years, right? I didn't give it up. Um, we'll just say that. But stuff came. All right.
Yeah,
So
let's
with
get to it. Why we hide it? We're on shades of purple. We gotta get we don't want a light purple. We want a deep purple at the moment. So let's go deep.
Yeah. So CGX was here's another reason why CGX was created, right? I'm very ambitious, right? I don't do things just to do things. And remember going back to the IGN thing, I said I want to work for them. And so my thing is, and shout outs to the Nerf report for this because he made a video and I kind of, saw where he was coming from. But there was something that happened in the media or whatever where uh, he was kind of encouraging people like, yo, don't just join, an IGN, like start your own thing. If you want to work in this journalist industry instead of going to join a company, we are in this century where pretty much there's a lot of way to grow. There's a lot of way to get exposure, right? So start your own thing, right? So I was like, instead of working for IGN, we're gonna create our own IGN. That's what CGX was, supposed to be. We're like, yo, we're gonna be the biggest cloud gaming channel. Everything, IGN does, we wouldn't do it, but for cloud gaming. And Chief had this mindset from the get-go, and that's why we clicked so well. And so we got crazy, we created a website, right? We created multiple channels, right? We had a VR channel, we had a gameplay channel, we had an Espanol channel, we had a French channel. Like we wanted to again be the cloud gaming IGN, and that was like our drive. But then uh my thing is, again, I get too ambitious. It's like this with my business, and my wife has to like
No
talk
such
to me
thing as
about it.
too ambitious,
You
Ace.
know,
No such thing as too
I
ambitious.
get crazy. When I go into something, I go into something. And just like with, studying video game back in the days, just like anything I do, I go in it 100%. So it started getting to the point where I was so focused on making CGX a business and a big brand that I got into the same like rut as I did with my first channel, to where again neglecting my family in the weekends, you know what I'm saying? Like doing the podcast in the weekends. Shout outs to the wife and the kids. They held it down, but I can tell like, yo, it's taken away from them. So I was like, all right, like YouTube does not pay well. I'm just gonna say that. If you're doing YouTube for the money, like, yo, from a business perspective, to me, like it didn't make sense. Like I was putting all this time into trying to create this brand. And like I'm so good in what I'm doing with my business that like this is not adding up. It's not making sense to me. Like I'm losing sleep. I gained 40 pounds. Like you can see some gray hair here. Was never there before. So
That's
like
because
my
you're getting
body.
older, Ace. Like this is
No,
a
no,
natural
no,
thing.
no.
It's
This
like
is
gravity
not.
affects me too.
It came way faster than it should. I'll tell you that much. And just like my health started becoming an issue, and so it's like, yo, I'm making pennies compared to like what I make from my business. Like, is this worth it? Like, so that was what came to me with the whole like decision. And I was just like, I was trying to anyway, that was it. I'm not gonna say more about that, but that was it. And so I was like, yo, I'm gonna prioritize just spending time with the family, focusing on just what makes my family happy, and me happy. So took a little break. But yeah, so we here.
So we're here. So no,
We here.
I respect Ace. So many things like it's family. Keep it first and foremost. And I hinted we're going to talk about your new venture. We're going to talk a little bit about the Steam Deck and maybe what games you really advise people play on that to really get the full effect of it and the features and so forth. One question a lot of people have:
Yeah.
for where CGX is now. Knowing what you know today, the handoff of CGX, would you do it the same way?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. It came to the point where so when I left, the guys I felt like they were doing an incredible job, Chief GTP and Hell Monkey. They were holding it down, but it got to the point where they just, cloud gaming just had a terrible year. And people started losing interest. I did. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I did. And they did too. And, they had other priorities. And so they're like, yo, why are we even doing this? Like, I don't even see the point of it. So I was like, all right, the channel came back to me. So I was like, all right, what to do with it? So I reached out to some people who might be interested in it to see if, they would be interested in taking over. And I like Duncan. Shout outs to Duncan. We created a really good friendship over the podcast. And they have a vision, right? So does Stadia Source, right? Pretty much they want to be the IGN for cloud gaming, which aligns with the vision for CGX, right? So my thing is, I don't want this brand to just die, right? If anyone can create that dream that we've dreamed of, this becoming, it's them, right? So we all got together and we talked, and they were like, "Yo, we can make this happen." And so that's why I chose them. And yeah, I still stand by it because they have visions, they have plans. It's going a little slower, just stuff going on behind the scenes, but I think they will get there eventually, and I trust that they will because these guys have the same vision as we do. So I don't I wish it would, be a little faster than we hoped, but I think they'll get there eventually.
I think that's fair. I also think, though, that this is just me personally. It's
Mhm.
not. I don't really give my opinion too much on my own channel, but I do think that there's something about a YouTuber in developing their channel, and then a YouTuber who's given an audience and a subscriber base in their channel, regardless of
Mm.
how much it is. And
Mhm.
it's one of those things that
Mhm.
I think that element of eventually becoming a YouTube partner or member, whatever whatever you people get paid for ads and stuff. I do think there's something about being earning that, and so in the journey it takes to that. And so, me personally, and I'll say this to you, I'm not sure if you did any favors there, me personally, but it is your channel. It is what you will do what you will with it. But I do think that there will be a long time for a lot of people to take them seriously because of that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it. And you know what? Again, I think the biggest thing is just vision aligning, and I think because they have I get what you're saying, but I think in time, people. So the thing with CGX is we created a formula. It's pretty simple, and
The IGN formula
no,
is a really
no,
simple
no,
formula.
no, no, get this. No, get this. That's why we're kind of comfortable living it in their hands, right? It's pretty simple. And the thing is, like, we not to brag anything, but we rank high on the analytics when it comes to cloud gaming, right? So we have a formula. That's why, in a way, they are even with us not creating content, they're still in a way growing, right? There's a formula that we created. We rank high in the analytics. Um, the formula is there. All they have to do is just keep it up, and I think they can continue being as successful as we were when it comes to like growth and exposure, right? But guys, you wait. I'm telling you, this stuff going on behind the scenes, but the vision align with ours, and in time, I think you guys are gonna see
I don't know.
hopefully the fruits of that.
Ace, I trust you. I trust you. It's just my
Yeah.
own personal opinion, and it's
No,
also,
no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
and so, but it's something I will watch because I watch everyone's content. That's where I started in YouTube, watching
Yeah,
people's content, and I eventually started creating my own because I wasn't seeing the content that I wanted to see. Um,
same.
but I think they're going to have to earn that from me, and I don't think they're you. And you say they have the same vision, but I think you'll have totally different means to do that. So that's what I'm going to say on that.
Okay, okay.
And with that shots fired or not, more than willing to go toe to toe with anybody on that. If y'all can tell, my tone changed because I got serious.
Yeah,
like y'all want to know what Corvo looks
okay,
like when she's about to go to
okay,
war. Y'all just heard that
okay.
tone get monotone.
I see that. I see that.
But
That's
let's bring
cool.
it back up.
All right.
Can't get too. Let's make the shade a little brighter.
That's
But
cool.
with that
That's cool.
said, uh, so now tell us, because you just mentioned you got something new going on. You're coming
Yeah,
back. Some people would say you never left. And,
yeah,
we hinted that you may come back, but it bit you back. The content creation's there. What is going on with
yeah.
Ace going forward?
So after studying YouTube for as long as I have, right? My philosophy, my saying now is I'm not gonna work for YouTube anymore. I'm gonna let YouTube work for me, right? So that's my saying, right?
Well, you bought shares
Before
in YouTube?
no,
I mean, that's what I heard. I'm like,
no,
he's
no.
about to become an investor, y'all. Put it all on
No,
YouTube.
so yeah, no. Get this right. Before I looked into making YouTube a business that can financially support me. I have different businesses that I run, and I wanted YouTube to be one of those. That was the goal again, to be like an IGN type business. But I devote a lot of time, a lot of effort to make that successful. I'm done with chasing that, right? But now, for me, I'm a creator, right? I like to create things. I like to experiment. Again, spend a lot of hours researching YouTube and just content creation. Have all these thousands of dollars of equipment here that needs to be used, right? So my thing is, I'm gonna make YouTube work for me, and the way I intend to do that is whatever I'm passionate about, whatever video I want to make. I'm not chasing like number count. It's when I'm bored as hell. Like I was telling Chief, right? Things are going so well with the business side of things that I'm bored out of my mind, right? So whenever I'm bored, whenever I have something to say, I'm just gonna turn that camera on, hit record, and make that video. That is YouTube working for me. YouTube is fulfilling my boredom with me being creative, right? So I have multiple channels, but these three that I'm just gonna focus on creating, and I have ways to do this to where even with low subscriber count, I'm still generating income. Again, I've grown to think smarter with finances and money. I'm done a lot of research on how to do this. Affiliate marketing's huge, right? You can have 0 subscribers and still make money. Y'all take notes. And you guys are gonna see the content that I'm gonna be creating is gonna be pretty much based on that affiliate marketing, reviewing products, or talking about services or products that I can put a little link there, people can click, and I get paid for. Anyway, thinking smarter, right? Making YouTube work for me. So
I
that's
thought you
my
were about
mom.
to say jump on the newest trend, low subscriber counts, monetize who Ace is. I thought you were going to tell us about an OnlyFans channel, but you're doing some affiliate, like y'all want
Yo,
to know.
no,
Okay.
it's low key. Like I'm not asking for I don't want this. I've done that. I've got my money from YouTube. I'm just gonna say that. So now, in a way, I'm making YouTube work for me. So that's like my next venture. This is a cloud channel. This is Steam Deck channel. But it's just low key stuff. Where I'll just be covering, doing some. I'm making videos that have legs, right? So videos that I'm not chasing. So with CGX, is always chasing the news, always chasing the newest. I'm too old for that. I don't have time to always chase the latest. So I'm focusing on creating content that have legs that would generate me income without me like losing sleep over creating content. That's making YouTube work for me.
All right, so we got
Yeah.
Ace's channel. Y'all will be did I hear this correctly? An affiliate channel type of deal, like you're doing affiliate type of stuff.
So it's gonna be focused on. I don't want to give too much out, right? But you'll see it's gonna be different than what people are doing, but there's an intent behind what I'm doing. I don't want to give too much out.
All right,
But
we're gonna have to see.
yeah,
You
you
gave
know what I'm
us a
saying?
lot now.
Okay, okay.
I interviewed you.
It's thinking smart. It's thinking smart. I'm not chasing subs, but I'm making content to where it has legs, and in time it'll do its thing. I have a smartwatch channel right now that some people are not, familiar with because I don't talk about it, but it has like over, 1,000 subs. But that channel alone is generated me like $130 a month. It's not a lot, but like my thing is imagine creating multiple of those, right? To where I'm able to express my creativity, right? And I'm getting, a little play around money on the side that, it's just an avenue to express creativity. And again, not stressing out, not gaining gray hair, I'm not losing weight, but it's fun and I'm having fun with it. So
I
yeah,
think
man, that's where I'm at.
from the a lot of people know, like I love to talk business and ambitions. You heard me say earlier that you can never have too small ambitions, and I think Ace, besides just telling us so many personal things, I think this message is super inspirational and resonates with a lot of people. You going
Yeah.
after what you want, seeing like you went a certain path, hey, wasn't working for multiple reasons, right? Whether it's just personal commitment, maybe it didn't evolve like you wanted it to, and then going after this other one, saying like, hey, let me rethink my approach to it.
Yeah.
And to me, that journey is invaluable. Like someone will hear that on this podcast right now or wherever, and it'll plant a seed. Like going to get success or whatever is going to take multiple passes. It's not just
Yeah.
easy. And so I really appreciate it. If you were listening, like I was listening to it, hopefully what people's heard was perseverance and determination. And that doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately. So kudos to you, Ace. And I hope to see you do great things.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be I'm happy. Like I'm healthy, number one. I'm happy. Number two, the family's happy. And to me, and business is going well. Let's just put that. To me, those four things are like key to my success, at least, right? And I'm in a really good place right now. So I gotta just keep it that way and not get too crazy with ambition. That's my problem, bro. Like I have some fascination with like being overly ambitious, even with these channels. I told my wife, like, if I start getting crazy, let me know. And I because the way it works, I see success, I chase it, so I gotta just like, just be calm and in a way use this as the intended purpose, which is an outlet for my creativity. But we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts us, right?
Oh my god, I love it. Ace, if you can't tell, I love it. Everything you talk to me, I love when I can take something and apply it to multiple other areas of life. And I love this. Hopefully you let us know more about it as you like. Can you kind of tweet out some of these streams and stuff. And so,
Yeah,
if for nothing else, what I wanted, I think there's enough. There's enough out there to lift everyone's boat. And
oh yeah,
I think one of the things about working smarter, not harder, is learning from people. And I think as far as like how to make YouTube work, so far you're kind of out. You've tried multiple ways to do it, and I think you're onto something here. So,
so
uh,
it's different, and I don't think like this channel it's a cloud. So my cloud channel again is made for legs, but I'm gonna have fun with it too, right? I like to talk ish. Again, I have all this knowledge with cloud. So it's called Ace Speaks to the Cloud. And so you guys are going to hear me like, rant about some stuff on it, right? But the main purpose, the main drivers are going to be those, videos with legs to, grow it a little bit. But it's going to be a platform for me to just like talk my ish about what I feel like is going on in the cloud gaming space too. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'll tweet some stuff out when it's going.
do a
But
little
yeah, it's
TikTok.
fun. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
TikTok?
yeah, you know, you got to do that little TikTok thing, what the kids are doing, or the IG, or the
I
Gram,
no,
the
no,
Insta.
no, no. I hate those things with a passion, man. Like that was our biggest difficulties with CGX. Like I was like they wanted me to do the social media, the TikTok, Insta. No, it's not my
Nah.
thing at all. Not at all.
All
But
right,
yeah.
so let's talk. So no, that's super. So let's kind of segue into this thing, and then I try to keep it around an hour or so, but we'll do a little
So
bit.
how close are we to beating Storm's time?
That is not a
How
target. That is not a target. That
how
is not.
how, how close are we to beating Project
It's
Storm's
not gonna
time?
be. It's not gonna be beaten. It's not gonna be beaten. It's not gonna be beaten. We're not gonna do that today. We're not
She's
doing that.
she's loyal stuff. She's loyal. Look at that. She's loyal. All right.
Not, no.
All
You know,
right.
uh, that is not a target. Everyone, it is about quality, not quantity.
Okay, no.
Look, you're gonna make like Docker's gonna want to come back, Holt is gonna want to. Yeah, no, that's not. We have a
Oh
conversation.
man,
It's a
that's
natural flowing
hilarious.
conversation. Um, so Steam Deck. Talk to us a little bit about the Steam Deck. You know, it took you
Yeah,
away. It took you away from cloud gaming.
yeah.
You know, what game on the Steam Deck do you really like? Uh, See, now look what you
Oh
started.
man.
Yeah, what game do you like? What features have surprised you about the Steam Deck?
Yeah. So I drew to the Nintendo Switch. That's why
Who
the first
lasted
one was.
longer? Stop it. Stop it, y'all. There's nothing going on here.
Oh gosh. But no, when it comes to the Steam Deck, to me, gaming right now is all about convenience, right? And I love the Switch because again, the portability factor of it, and that's what drew me into cloud gaming. Again, that Stadia GDC where they were like, "Yo, you can play on any screen." Also, like the issue I was having at that time with Switch was the third-party games were trash, right? If you got it for Nintendo exclusives, the Breath of the Wilds, the Bayonetta 2 and stuff, it was excellent. But you try to play something like Doom, it was garbage, right? Frame rate, it was blurry, it looked like crap. So cloud gaming to me fixed that need. I was like, convenience. I could play AAA games on my phone. I was like, yo, I'm sold. And it did meet that need for me. But then I realized I traveled a lot, right? So I would go to hotels, I would go camping with the kids, and you see my Twitter, I'm always doing stuff, always traveling. And the issue I ran into is like Wi-Fi, like getting good Wi-Fi. Hotels have crappy Wi-Fi. I have a mobile hotspot, and the issue with that is if you're in a location where you can't get good reception, you're screwed. So I want the game, without any barriers, and that's where
It's
the
like
Steam
gaming
Deck
without
comes in.
limits. I've heard of this before.
Oh gosh.
Gaming without barriers. I
Cow-
could just see it.
Cowboy is gonna come here and talk trash. Anyway, but no, that's what the Steam Deck provides for me. Like I can play AAA games on the go anytime. And the beauty with this, the issue with cloud sometimes for me is you only have like Stadia 10 minutes, right? When you have kids, you got to give them a bath, put them to bed. It takes more than 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like my son takes 30 minutes to go to sleep. So if I pause the game to put in bed and come back, like I lose, like I have to restart. But with the Steam Deck, it's instant. You just turn it off, you power it back on, and you're right where you left off. So again, I've beaten 6 games in the last 2.5 to 3 months. It's insane, and I'm loving it. And the thing is, you can do cloud on here too, right? So if a game is not supported but it's available in the cloud, you can just play it on your Steam Deck via cloud, like Lost Judgment on Amazon Luna. It's not available on PC, right? But again, it's on Luna. So I'm playing it on my Steam Deck on Luna, right? Destiny 2 is now available. I'm using GFN to play it on my Steam Deck. So you have options. And then if you're into emulations, I'm not trying to like sell you guys in Steam Deck, but this is why I'm so like invested in this platform because like again, I respect the tech and the tech right now for Steam Deck is so dope. And there's no denying it. Everyone who owns one will tell you that. It's pretty impressive, man. Love it. Love it.
No, I know. No, I look. I'm as long as you're gaming, you're good with me. That's what I always say. I have nothing against anything because gaming is going to evolve. You know.
No.
So you told us the features you like. Which game are you saying? If you want to test out the Steam Deck, and you're like, if I had to sell the Steam Deck and I had one game, which one would it be?
Oh man, that's good. That's good. Oof. There's this couple. I would say, man, the bangers that. All right, so the first game that blew me away on here was Red Dead Redemption 2. Like that ran so flawless. Again, I was getting about like 45 to 50 FPS in medium to high settings. And again, something people have to realize is that this is PC graphics, right? So if you're seeing like high settings or even just medium alone PC settings, 50 FPS, I mean, that's incredible, right? So Red Dead Redemption was really dope on here playing locally. And NBA 2K is a big one. Again, that was missing from Stadia, right? Shots fired. Didn't get the latest one, and it's here on PC.
No
right?
shots,
Hey,
facts. No shots fired. It's facts.
But get this, right? On Stadia, again, I had what was it, 20 and 21 in Stadia. The last one they made, I believe, was 21. That ran on I would say 35 to 40 FPS, and graphics was not the greatest thing, right? But on Steam Deck, solid 60 at high graphics. I was like, yo, this is nuts. And then you don't have to people watch my stream with 2K on Stadia where there's hardly anyone in the park PC, mad people to play with. So I was like, yo, this is becoming too good to be true, man. And then just what Cyberpunk was what did it for me, right? Just being able to get like 40 FPS medium to high graphical settings. It's like, yo, this is no joke, man. This little device is a true powerhouse, man. True powerhouse. Seriously. Take this thing everywhere. I have a second one now, one at work, one at home. So I pretty much like take this everywhere.
I love it. I love it. And the most important thing, you're enjoying it. You're using it. As my mom has informed me multiple times, Mama Hayes out there, she says, enjoy it because it won't last. So that's how I'll end that one. But with that said, Ace, thank you so much.
For sure.
You started a civil war here about times on this show. Everybody. I love every conversation, natural conversation. No one lasts longer than the other person. We're all good. This isn't one of those types of things. But thank you so much, Ace. And when are, just for everybody, like when is kind of maybe the next time, um, people are going to start to see really you pick up with the content creation, and how can we find you on that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna, Twitter, check me out there. I'll just post on there, and again, y'all, it's strategic. My uploads are gonna be very strategic, right? So I'm not like gonna make daily. I'm gonna make videos that have legs. That's all I gotta say. So, put it in Twitter. You guys will see those videos, and yeah, like them if you like what I'm doing. Subscribe, and yeah, yeah. Twitter will be where to know when those videos go up.
Uh, Awesome, and I just love it. What I heard from you is, I think what I'm going to take away from this is just the hustle.
Yeah.
That is what I'm taking away from this. Just the
Yes,
hustle
there.
and
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
hamburgers. Oh my gosh, just the hamburgers. These are the greatest things. So thank you so
Uh,
much, Ace.
yeah,
And for
absolutely.
everyone else, I will be on Lo-Fi Monk. I think he's been in the chat recently or been there. I'll be on Lo-Fi Monk's channel tomorrow talking all things gaming. There was a lot of drama this week, as you all know. Also, maybe stopping by and doing some retro game talks on Saturday or on Sunday with SPG. Most likely, I'll try to play a little bit of Little Nightmares as well. And if you all know who, thank you everyone else who have been subscribing to my OnlyFans. It means a ton to me. Joking, there is no OnlyFans with Purple Haze. Stop it, it's not happening. I'm not telling you the channel name. Don't joke,
Oh
check it.
man.
But with that said, thank you all so much. Thank you, Ace. If you can just stay back so I can also just tell you thank you again.
For sure, for
But
sure.
with that said, I am Purple Haze, and the proof is in the playing. All right,
Peace,
thank you
y'all.
all.
All right, bye, y'all.